Who will win the Championship playoffs? Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to yet another video. Today we are dissecting the Championship playoffs after the Championship regular season has come to a close. We've got 4 teams competing for one place in the Premier League. Before we get into this video today, guys, please do share your thoughts down in the comments. I will be doing predictions for the first leg games with Sophie tomorrow, so do look out for that. Please do make sure to drop a like on this video. We'll go for 200 likes on this one, and do make sure to subscribe as we go through all of the teams and all of the drama. Let's start by talking about the final day in the Championship. It was so dramatic. Remember, we had 5 teams competing for those last 2 playoff places. In the end, my team Coventry got the job done with the draw that we needed. We took the lead through Gustavo Hamer's really good finish. We conceded a sloppy goal in first half stoppage time, and we had to hang on at times in the second half as Middlesbrough did show their strength, but we did get the 1-1 draw, which I thought was a fair result. Sunderland snuck into 6th place, 0-0 at half time. They'll have seen that Coventry were drawing and Millwall were winning, so even if Sunderland were to take the lead, they weren't to get in there. But in the second half, a lot of things went Sunderland's way. They won their game at Deepdale 3-0 to wrap up 6th place and a tie with Luton Town. It's Millwall who are the biggest talking point, as they seem to spontaneously combust against Blackburn Rovers, who came away with a win which finished them in 7th place. In the end, it wasn't enough for Blackburn to get into the playoffs, but they did deny Millwall. Millwall 3-1 up at half time, threw it away and lost 4-3, and as I say, dropped down to 8th place, so they missed out on the playoffs along with Blackburn Rovers and West Bromwich Albion, who did actually take the lead at Swansea City and get themselves into the top 6 at one point in yesterday's final day of the Championship season. So then what it means is we have got Luton Town, Middlesbrough, Coventry City and Sunderland as the 4 teams in the Championship playoffs. And before we go through each team and the stats and the numbers, I've got to say I'm really impressed with these 4 teams being the playoff teams this season. We've got no parachute payment teams here. We've got 4 kind of underdog stories from this season. 3 of these sides were all in League One together just 4 years ago, with Luton Town, Sunderland and Coventry City playing in the 3rd tier. And 5 years ago, Luton Town and Coventry City were both in League 2 together. It just goes to show how far these teams have come. The Luton Town story is quite incredible. Let's not forget they were actually National League some years ago, so they've gone up 3 divisions and they're now pushing for a 4th promotion, which would be incredible. I think everyone's got to admit, for the size of club and the size of stadium, this would be the big underdog story, Luton Town getting into the Premier League, and it seriously could happen. They've finished 3rd, so technically they've performed the best out of the teams that have finished in the playoffs here. And this has hardly been a one-season fluke. Let's not forget Luton Town have been progressing each season, despite the change in management this year as well. Rob Edwards taking over from Nathan Jones was certainly going to be hard footsteps to follow, but he's done fantastic, and like I say, they've been progressing. They actually made the playoffs last year, finishing in 6th place, and they've been building in the Championship over the couple of years that they've been in it now. And surely this time round, Luton Town fans will be thinking they've got a better chance than ever to get into the top flight. Like I say, they finished 3rd. We'll come on to some of the stats and numbers in a minute, but they have lost the least games out of these teams that have finished in the playoffs. Now in 4th place, we have got Middlesbrough, who will be taking on Coventry City all over again over 2 games. And Middlesbrough is still an underdog story, despite Middlesbrough being a team that were probably fancied to do the best out of these 4 teams before a ball was kicked this season. They got off to a very slow start under Chris Wilder, and we're looking like they're going to have a really poor season when Michael Carrick first came in. He has done absolutely fantastic, and the results he's been getting out of this team is incredible. Let's not forget as well, he nearly dragged them kicking and screaming into a top 2 battle when they beat the likes of Sheffield United 3-1 away, and they were really closing the gap. In the end, they've had to settle for the playoffs, and I'm sure Middlesbrough fans will say that the fact that they haven't won any of their last 3 games is down to the fact they've not had anything to play for. So will they be ready to go when the playoffs come around? Like we've said, they've got Chuba Akpom, who was voted the Championship best player of the season. He's obviously the Championship top goal scorer. They've got other incredible players like Archer, Ramsey and Matt Crooks as well, so they can get goals from every direction. Can Middlesbrough get promoted? In 5th place is Coventry City, my team of course, and I've never seen us in the Championship playoffs because we've never been in the Championship playoffs before. This is quite a remarkable story, guys. Just like with Luton Town, Coventry City have come a long way. We were going down the football divisions, and 6 years ago we were relegated to League 2. If we were to get promoted to the Premier League this season, that would be some turnaround, and Mark Robins has got to come in for so so much praise. Let's not forget, when it comes to budgets, Coventry City's is certainly not one of the biggest in the Championship, and although we've got Doug King coming in now, who does seem to be looking like he's promising good things for the Coventry City fans, we've had to do the majority of the hard work over the last couple of years under the ownership of Sisu, so Coventry City are really defying the odds. Obviously, we've got Victor Gyökeres, who is the second top goal scorer in the Championship this season, Gustavo Hamer, who I would say is arguably one of the best players in the Championship, Kyle McFadzean is certainly a rock at the back, and we've got Ben Wilson, who won the Golden Glove for the Championship for the most clean sheets this season. When it comes to Coventry City's record against the other teams that have finished in the playoffs this season, we've not actually lost to any of them at any point this season. We took 2 points off Luton with 2 draws, 4 points off Middlesbrough and 4 points off Sunderland, so quite a good record against the teams we will be competing against. Now in 6th place are Sunderland. Now although Sunderland are recognised as a huge club, to be where they are after just 1 season back in the Championship is certainly incredible. They finished in the League One playoffs last year, so to get straight into the Championship playoffs is some achievement. I've got to be honest and say I tossed and turned over the last couple of weeks whether I thought Sunderland were going to sneak into the playoffs. They seem to be improving their form in the last couple of weeks, but it was so close with all the other teams I was not sure if they were going to get in there, but Sunderland got in there, and now they're in there. Everyone starts on afresh. Sunderland will feel like they've got as good a chance as any to get in there. Sunderland's fan base could certainly be the difference between seeing Sunderland getting back to the Premier League or staying in the Championship, as their fan base will be so desperate to get back to the Premier League. Let's not forget, it was back-to-back relegations down to League One. This would be back-to-back promotions to the Premier League. Tony Mowbray, obviously a very experienced manager. He's been promoted from the Championship before, of course, and if he could do it with Sunderland, that would be some achievement considering he's only had half a season to turn this team into promotion candidates. So then let's have a little look at some of the key numbers coming into the Championship playoffs and how these teams rank up against each other. As for where they finished in the Championship table, well obviously Luton Town finished first out of these 4, Middlesbrough second, Coventry third and Sunderland fourth. When it comes to the bookies though, Middlesbrough are fancied to win the Championship playoffs ahead of Luton, Sunderland ahead of Coventry in third place. Coventry the least favourites. Is that a good thing for Coventry maybe, with not much pressure on us? As for Middlesbrough, feels like the pressure's on them. When it comes to the head-to-head records though between these sides, having just played each other, Coventry City, as I say, haven't lost to any of these teams at any point this season, so come out on top. Luton Town with a pretty good record against the other sides in the playoffs here, come in second, Middlesbrough in third, and Sunderland with the worst record when it comes to head-to-heads across these 4 teams. And then as for the last thing, the form over the last 6 games coming into the playoffs, Sunderland have the best form, Coventry City in second, Luton Town in third and Middlesbrough in fourth. What Luton and Middlesbrough fans might point out though is that the form might be a bit misleading, as Coventry and Sunderland still had something to play for, whereas Luton Town and Middlesbrough had wrapped up their playoff places. So then guys, do let me know your thoughts on some of the key numbers there and just your gut feeling coming into the playoffs. I could genuinely make an argument for any of these teams getting promoted, so do look out for the Championship playoff predictions for the first legs tomorrow. I really don't know. I'm a Coventry City fan. I feel quite nervous but quite relaxed at the same time. I feel like there's not much pressure on us to get promoted, which is kind of a nice thing. I do think when you finish third and fourth, the pressure is on you a bit. There's a bit more expectancy for you to do it. I feel like Middlesbrough in particular, being the bookies' favourites, the pressure's on them a bit. As for how I think the games will play down, like I say, do look out for the predictions videos tomorrow. I do think Coventry-Middlesbrough is going to be really interesting. As I say, Coventry have taken 4 points off Middlesbrough this season. 2 really passionate fan bases, will be an interesting one. And then as for Sunderland-Luton, going to be really interesting, playing their games out in 2 completely different stadiums. First of all, at the Stadium of Light, and then down to Kenilworth Road for the second leg. Do let me know how you think things are going to play out. Do make sure, of course, to drop a like, and do make sure to subscribe. I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.